Hi, everyone. Welcome. We are waiting a couple of minutes for people to join. Just like you would in an in-person meeting, sometimes take a moment for people to get settled. Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. So thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Maritza Peachin. I work for the City of Richmond, where I am in charge of the Office of Equitable Development, which seeks to implement the citywide master plan. I also have with me here today Leonard Sledge, who's the Director of Economic Development, Sharon Ebert, who is the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Planning and Community Development and Housing. And I have Sam Schwarzkopf, who works for the Office of Public Information and Engagement for the city, and Devin Wood, who also works for the Department of Economic Development. So thank you for joining. If you are watching on the computer or on the phone, thank you so much for being part of this conversation. So tonight we are talking about potential uses of upfront resort casino revenue that could be coming in if voters vote for the in favor of having a resort casino in the city of Richmond. This comes at the end of a long process that we've undertaken in the city starting in December of last year. On the slide, if you're on the phone, I'll describe it, but if you're watching, you can see this timeline. We released a survey in September. We released the RFQ, which is the request for qualifications and proposals. We reviewed them, and then we selected one casino and resort as the preferred operator to be included on the referendum, which will happen on November 2nd. For all Richmond voters. And we considered 5 different overarching categories when we were reviewing the different proposals that we received, including project feasibility and sustainability, proposed location, economic development impact, financial revenue impact, and community benefits. And those came out of Virginia Casino Act. Alongside those steps, we've been having community engagement. We published this 5 steps of community engagement flyer back in February of last year. Right now we're in the 4th phase, which is engaging and informing with the Richmond community about the details of the resort casino project, and then also kind of having conversations on how the funding could be used that would come from the one-time payment that will come within 30 days of the resort casino being approved on the ballot. But that money only appears if it is approved by Richmond voters. You can find out more about the resort casino development on the city's website, and that should be appearing as a little announcement if you're joining by computer, and if you're on the phone, it's rva.gov/economic-development/resort-casino. There's a lot of information on there, including the term sheet, including that's the deal between the city and one casino plus resort. So there's a lot of information that's totally open to the public to review. Leonard's going to take it from here. You're muted.
Thank you, Maritza, and good evening, everyone. There's a lot of great information that we've been sharing throughout this entire process since December of last year, and we're really fortunate to be at the place where we are to move forward with the voter referendum. Tonight is just an ongoing dialogue, and for us as a city staff doing exactly what we said we would do, in terms of engaging the community, to hear directly from citizens in terms of how you see the city using funds that are generated as a result of the resort casino project. The next few slides have been shared previously, and I like to recap them just to help everyone better understand how we got to the position that we are today. The Virginia Casino Act was approved in 2020 by the Virginia General Assembly. That gives the city of Richmond the ability to host a resort casino in the city. The Virginia Casino Act lays out the criteria for casino operators. It very specifically talks about the revenue opportunity to localities, specifically with a tax on the adjusted gross receipts. And Virginia is very different compared to a lot of other states that have casino gaming, in that the General Assembly has established a very generous tax that the casino operators have to pay, not only to the Commonwealth of Virginia, but directly to the localities. And the Virginia Casino Act lays out what that tax is. The localities, which we did, also have the ability to negotiate host community agreements, and the full host community agreement is on the website that Maritza mentioned. And we negotiated revenue above and beyond what was required by the Virginia General Assembly, again, to make the project as beneficial as possible for every Richmonder. And at the onset of this process, one of the things that we've been intent on, and that we said we would do, is to identify the best project possible for Richmond voters to ultimately vote yes or no on during this year's general election. And so Richmond, we opted to have our voter referendum in November of 2021. The other localities, the other 4 localities in the Commonwealth of Virginia, they had theirs in November of 2020. And each of those 4 cities, Norfolk, Portsmouth, Bristol, and Danville, with more than 60% of the voters voting yes there, they have approved their resort casino projects. And so we're coming up on November 2021. We've selected our preferred casino operator and site. It's no secret now, it's one casino and resort, and we'll share a little bit about that in a second. But also really key in this process is, again, ultimately Richmond voters will be saying yes or no, and that requires a voter referendum. And the Virginia Casino Act spells out very clearly the language that's required on a voter referendum, and we will show that in a few moments. Next slide, please. And so, as I mentioned, one casino and resort is the operator that we've selected as our preferred casino gaming operator in the city of Richmond. And we are absolutely thrilled to have the opportunity to work with Mr. Alfred Liggins, who's the president and CEO of Urban One, and the team that he's put together to bring this entertainment destination to the city of Richmond. Urban One is no stranger to the city of Richmond. They are a multifaceted media company that owns over 55 radio stations. They have a strong history and presence in the city of Richmond as the owner and operator of KISS FM, ESPN Richmond, Praise Richmond, and iPower. And also they have partnered with Peninsula Pacific Entertainment, who we are most familiar in the city of Richmond as being the owner and operator of Rosie's Gaming Emporiums. But Peninsula Pacific Entertainment will essentially manage the project for Urban One. Again, the project is owned by Urban One and will be managed and developed by Peninsula Pacific Entertainment. What many people may not know is Peninsula Pacific Entertainment, they have developed and operate full-scale resort casinos across the country. And so we're really pleased with the experience that this joint team brings to the table, again, to create a truly world-class resort destination. Next slide, please. In terms of the site that Richmond voters will be approving also at the referendum is the former Philip Morris Operations Center, which is in the southern end of the city in South Richmond, right off of the intersection of Commerce and Walmsley, specifically 2001 Walmsley Boulevard and 4700 Trenton Avenue. The site, according to media reports, has been for sale since at least 2009. It's an underutilized site. It's served by, and underutilized in that There's not a current Philip Morris operation in that particular building. It's on transit. All of the required zoning is in place for the proposed uses. And so this casino project could be developed by right. Next slide, please. And in terms of some of the features of the project, as it has also been broadly shared, the project will feature over 250 luxury hotel rooms. It will have resort amenities such as a pool, spa, and a fitness center. We'll have a casino that has a poker room, a high limit waging area or high limit area, sports wagering, 15 food and beverage options, which will also feature several local restaurateurs who are no strangers in the city of Richmond, a 3,000 person event center for live entertainment. So we have a great opportunity to bring live entertainment to the south side of the city. And one item that a lot of folks are really excited about, and that's a 55-acre park and green space that will be open to the public. The 55-acre green space will be owned by Urban One, but it absolutely will be open to the public, and it will be also maintained by Urban One. So another great amenity for the citizens of Richmond. One of the things that got us really excited about this project also was the opportunity to add more television and film production in the city of Richmond with the development of a 55,000 square foot soundstage. That's also a part of this project. And also Urban One has committed to spending over $50 million, over a 10-year period to produce radio, TV, and film content here in the city of Richmond. And that also will have an overall economic lift for the city. Convention, event, and meeting space, and also structured parking and surface parking for all of the guests at the resort. Next slide, please. One of the things that we also like to clearly state is that the city does not intend to, nor do we have any obligations to provide any funding for the development or operation of the One Casino and Resort. In fact, the General Assembly added language in the Casino Act that actually keeps us from having to provide any funding if we wanted to for site improvements or infrastructure. We entered into this resort casino process with the mindset that any and everything that would need to be paid for to develop this project would have to be paid for by the resort casino owners and operators. And so therefore there are no abatements, there are no exemptions, there are no subsidies, no incentives, no rebates, no financing, no financial waivers. There is no type of funding or tax relief for this project for the life of the project. All the more so, it is in the host community agreement that speaks very clearly to the fact that we're not providing any funding for this project. What we have agreed to do is to partner 50-50 in terms of the sharing of the costs with One Casino and Resort to make infrastructure improvements outside of the resort casino in an area to essentially beautify the intersection of Walmsley and South Commerce Drive. And we would jointly agree on what improvements in the public right of way and only in the public right of way that will be made, again, just to improve the overall visual aesthetic as folks are traveling down this portion of South Commerce Drive and Walmsley as they're getting off of the interstate. So again, not for the project, but infrastructure improvements as it relates to curb appeal and other types of things. We have been very conservative in our estimates for the revenue for this project. The One Casino and Resort team, they provided us with a series of financial projections. We made their conservative financial projections all the more conservative. And as such, we estimate that over the first 5 years of this project, it will generate at least $172.8 million of new general fund revenue to the city of Richmond. And that includes a one-time upfront payment of $26.5 million. $25.5 million of that would be paid to the city of Richmond if the project is approved by voters during the voter referendum and upon certification of the vote by the courts. And that's the reason that we're here tonight and that the survey has gone out, is just to hear from Richmonders about how they'd like to see that upfront money spent. And also upon them closing on the financing for the project, they will pay the city of Richmond an additional $1 million of upfront revenue. And then over the life of the project, of course, real estate tax, the casino tax, which I mentioned, which is in the legislation approved by the Virginia General Assembly, the additional revenue that we negotiated, business personal property tax, admissions tax, lodging tax, and so on. So a tremendous opportunity. And to help give another frame of reference of the impact of that, the annual revenue over the first 5 years of the project would be the same amount of money generated if there were a 13-penny increase on the city's real estate tax. So that's the size of the project and the revenue opportunity for the city. Next slide, please. And so we've mentioned that we're at a place where the city council has taken action on the host community agreement. We've petitioned the court for the voter referendum. The petition was signed off on. And so on November the 2nd in the general election, and actually starting with early voting also, which starts in mid-September, Richmonders will see on their ballot, if your polling place where you go to vote is in the city of Richmond, you will be asked the question, shall casino gaming be permitted at a casino gaming establishment in the city of Richmond, Virginia at 2001 Walmsley Boulevard and 4700 Trenton Avenue, Richmond, Virginia 23234, as may be approved by the Virginia Lottery Board. And Richmonders will have the opportunity to vote yes or no. We believe that this is a great project. Again, the revenue redevelopment on a site in South Richmond, but also 1,300 great new jobs available for Richmonders who want or are looking for a new employment opportunity, a different employment opportunity, but again, great jobs with great benefits. Next slide, please. And so in terms of how this project benefits Richmond, again, it creates a significant number of new good paying jobs with benefits for Richmond citizens, at least 1,300 new jobs that have an average compensation package, including salary, benefits, bonuses, payroll taxes, $55,000 a year. We have negotiated that there is a good faith effort that at least 60% of those jobs be offered for Richmond that at least 60% of the people hired in those jobs are Richmond residents, excuse me. We've negotiated community benefits along the lines of minority participation, MBE participation in terms of the construction and operation of the project, a host of things. The project creates significant new general fund revenue to address our priorities as a city and to help keep taxes low for everyone in Richmond. As I mentioned, the revenue, the first 5 years we estimate is equivalent to 13 pennies on the tax rate. And also it creates a significant new economic engine in South Richmond. Next slide, please. And so with that, I will turn it back over to Maritza.
Thank you, Leonard. If you all have questions while I'm talking or things come up, feel free to use your the Q&A function. And then also later on, we will take questions from people on the phone as well toward the end. So the question about the upfront payment, the city, as Leonard mentioned, will be receiving a $25.5 million payment within 30 days of the certification of the results of the referendum if Richmonders vote yes. So there's no money if Richmonders vote no. And so our question that we wanted to pose with this survey is, what projects are people most interested in funding with the $25.5 million? We focused on the 8th and 9th district. The 8th district is where the casino is going to be located. The 9th district is adjacent. So the survey link is you should have it on your screen if you're on virtually. And if you're doing it on the phone, it's surveymonkey.com. I mean, if you're listening to us on the phone, you go to surveymonkey.com/r/casino funds. So that's surveymonkey.com/r/casino funds. And that's how you can take it on your computer. So I wanted to share some of the preliminary results with you all. So we've had 132 individuals fill out the survey so far. The survey will be up until September 6th at midnight. So we're hoping for more engagement than that. the first question we're asking is how much money should go to projects in Southside, specifically, primarily the 8th and 9th district. And so we're asking, we start the bar at 50%, have it go up to 100%. And currently there's about 70, most people are picking around 70 out of the 132 responses. So I'm just sharing the preliminary survey results to so that you all know what we're seeing on the back end, and hopefully then you guys can also go ahead and take the survey if you haven't already. We asked folks to rank the types of projects. So there's many different types of projects. There's 7 different types of projects. Road safety and beautification projects is 1, 2 playgrounds and trails, 3 walking infrastructure projects, 4 parks, 5 city and community buildings, 6 school related projects, and 7 bus transportation projects. So all of these, for each one of these 7 categories, we worked with our Department of Utilities, Department of Public Works, and Parks Department to identify projects that are shovel-ready projects that they've had on their lists for capital improvement dollars. And we also kind of verified these with the council members to help create this list. That's where the list came from. We focused mainly on projects that were that are built, that things that you can build and see and touch. And we focused on things that were kind of ready to go, that people have been waiting for it to happen. So right now, the category, we asked people to rank which category they want to see funded with highest priority. Number 1 was school-related projects. Number 2 was walking infrastructure projects, so that's like sidewalks. And number 3 was road safety and beautification projects. That's the preliminary results. Obviously, these can change after the survey closes and we do a robust review of everything at that point. So within the city and community buildings project list, there's 5 projects that we listed: improvements to Hickory Hill Community Center, Broad Rock Sports Complex, TV Smith Community Center, Southside Community Center, and the Emergency Communications Building, which would be a new facility for 911 operators. So that one is actually the one that right now is showing up as number 1, the Emergency Communications Building in the preliminary survey results. We asked folks to rank park projects. Park projects at Pocasham Park, Ernest Road Park, Broad Rock Creek Park, High Oaks Park, Reedy Creek Wetland Park, Rosemount Road Park. Several of those are new parks that the Parks Department has identified. These are new parks that would be created in the community on city-owned land. And so right now, the one that is getting the most is the Reedy Creek Wetland Park, which is near Miles Jones Elementary School. That one has gotten the most votes so far as the number 1. We asked people to rank playground and trails parks, playground and trails projects. Oak Grove Playground. These are playgrounds that aren't adjacent to an elementary school, but like separate playgrounds. Oak Grove Playground, James River Branch Trail, Swansboro Playground, the Mayshore Playground, Davy Gardens Fitness and Walking Trail, Blackwell, Charlie Sidner Playground. Right now, the one that has the most votes as number 1 is the James River Branch Trail. We asked folks to rank schools projects. So this is on the school property themselves. Summer Hill Softball Diamond, J.L. Francis Elementary School Playground, and Reed Elementary School Community Center and Playground. And the number 1 is the Reed Elementary School. Walking projects. So these are kind of sidewalk improvement, pedestrian safety improvement projects. Sidewalks around the new Cardinal Elementary School that opened recently. Carnation Street sidewalks, finishing up that project. Some of those sidewalks have been done, but this would be finishing it out. Belmont Road at Walmsley Boulevard, pedestrian safety improvements at that intersection of Belmont and Walmsley. Pedestrian safety improvements at Hull Street and Belt Boulevard. And then sidewalks on Walmsley. So the number 1 right now is pedestrian safety improvements at Hull and Belt Boulevard. So that's right near the Southside Plaza intersection. Road safety and beautification projects are 6 of those. That's Belt Boulevard from Hull to Midlothian Turnpike, improving the streetscape on that. Belt Boulevard and Broad Rock Road, having a better intersection. Lynnhaven Avenue Bridge replacement, Hull Street Phase 2 improvements. So Phase 1 and 3 are already funded for the Hull Street project, and so this would be funding Phase 2. And then interchange improvements at I-95 Commerce and Walmsley. And then Chapel Drive stormwater remediation project. And right now, number 1 is improving that interchange at I-95 Commerce Road and Walmsley. And then we asked folks about bus transportation, increasing frequency and hours of several routes, Route 86, 87, 3B, 3C, Route 2C, Route 88, and then a general thing about adding bus stops and amenities at high use stops in Southside. So that's actually the number 1 choice that folks have chosen. So those are all of the questions. We also, those are all the questions about the projects. We then also asked questions about demographics. And the top 3 projects so far, because there's a question where we asked people to pick their highest project, not just within a category, but overall. And the top ones are the Emergency Communications Building, getting 14% of the respondents saying that's their top priority. The James River Branch Trail with 11, the Reedy Creek Wetland Park with 8. Some new ideas, and then we also had an open field where people can put in other ideas that they have for funding. And other ideas include increasing public safety funding, more sidewalks throughout Southside, putting in community gardens, in addition to the parks, and then the north-south bus rapid transit as a transit infrastructure investment. We asked some demographic information for people who fill out the survey, and so far 78% of the respondents live within the city. It's a good thing we asked that question, because ultimately it's city residents that are going to be voting on this, not Henrico or Chesterfield residents. And at least 45% of the people who are filling out the survey live in Southside. We asked people to write in their neighborhood, and so you can see this word cloud that shows all the neighborhoods that people are coming from. So for people on the phone, Forest Hill, Manchester, Swansboro, Brooklyn Park, the Fan, Bellevue, Churchill, Broad Rock, Adams Park, Ginter Park Terrace, Stratford West. It's a whole big Hopkins Road. It's a whole big mix of people. Belt, someone said. And about 52% of the respondents who filled out the survey are white and 28 are Black or African American. So about a quarter of people are something else or didn't answer the question on race. So that is a preliminary overview of the survey results. We would like you to go on to the SurveyMonkey and take it yourself if you have not done so already. Share it with your friends. And just share it far and wide. And one thing that I did not mention is the city issued a survey for how to use the American Rescue Act funding, and we're using the results from that survey to help inform kind of more of the broader non-8th, 9th South Side infrastructure investment or funding, because if only 50 to 70% of the $25.5 million goes to projects in Southside, people have asked, well, how are you going to pick the other ones? Well, we would look at the priorities that citywide people have listed for the ARPA funding and use that to help make recommendations to council. Ultimately, council are the ones who appropriate money. We just give them suggestions. So that is the presentation we have for you tonight. If you have questions, please write them in the chat. And if you are joining us by the phone and you have a question, please unmute yourself and fire away.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, it's a lot of information, and I just want you to know that I will do a survey after the meeting. And I noticed that most of the participants in the survey, they're not in the 8th district. So I will take it upon myself to try to inform these people that they need to fill out a survey.
Yes, please do. Thank you very much. That is part of the reason why we wanted to share some of the preliminary survey results so that folks can help us get the word out.
Yes. Okay, I'll do just that.
And we do have paper surveys, and you can contact myself or Leonard Sledge to get those. You can put my email in the chat, Devin, and my email is maritza.peachin@rva.gov. So that's MARITZA.P as in Paul, ECHIN@rva.gov. And I just got a note from Sam, who's been kind of managing the SurveyMonkey for us, saying that about a third of the respondents are from the 8th and 9th district now. So that would be, I don't know, like 40.
Okay, so you'll be at Hickory Hill on the 25th.
We will. Thank you for reminding me of that. We will be at Hickory Hill on the 25th at 6 p.m. We will have this same presentation. We'll have updated survey results to share. And we'll also have paper surveys there for people who don't want to do it on the phone, but we do prefer that you do it on SurveyMonkey. That way we don't have to enter the information, but we're happy to we'll have the paper surveys available.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
And Maritza, will you repeat again when the online survey closes?
It closes on September 6th.
Thank you.
Our intention is to take this information and present it to council. So that is why we're closing at the 6th, so that we have some time to review it. And if anyone on the call has a group of people that they want us to reach out to or to talk to, especially in the 8th district, please email us so that we can engage with them. Any other questions or comments from folks out there?
Yes, hi, I'm with the Oak Grove Civic Association. And I didn't, get an invite to this evening, but someone had sent me the invite. But I would like to do a survey on this because I didn't know, excuse me, please excuse me, about this survey until this evening. So I will definitely be completing a survey.
Excellent.
And I'm with Oak Grove Civic Association in District 8.
Thank you.
Barbara Good.
Yes. I'm the vice president of the Oak Grove Civic Association.
And please share it with the other members of your community as well.
I will do that.
Thank you.
And thank you.
And it is surveymonkey.com/r/casino funds is the URL.
Could you repeat that again, please?
Is surveymonkey.com/r as in Robert /casino funds.
Okay, thank you. Is that funds with an S or without an S?
With an S. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
With an S.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other?
On the request that you have for the funds that's going to be allocated to the south side, or the 25.5 million. I don't know why I got a frog in my throat, but I didn't see anything on there about, I guess I can include that on my survey, about the alleys. It's absolutely, having the alleys refurbished in south side, in the District 8.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. There is a place on the survey where any project or any item that you may not see listed, but other ideas like that, please, by all means, feel free to write those in.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
A couple questions in the chat. One of them says, why wasn't the 6th district included with the 8th and 9th district in considering the improvements in the district? So the funding isn't going to only go to 8th and 9th district. It was just looking really at the areas that are right in where the casino is going to be. So there are opportunities to fund projects outside of the 8th and 9th district with this money. So when you take the survey in the open field, you please fill in other project ideas that you have for your district. And we're using the survey that the city issued for the ARPA funds to help us guide the where to fund projects outside of the 8th and 9th. Anything to add?
You will always have to do the 6th district in Southside, because that is enclosed and then around 8th district.
And then
The Bellmead area.
Right. A question is, how do we get a copy of the preliminary survey results that were shared in the presentation? I will send this to to Devin, who manages the webpage for us, and we'll put a PDF of it on our website. So that is rva.gov/economic development /casino. Trying to find it. It's in the chat that Devin posted. Economic-development /resort-casino. But if you Google RVA Resort Casino, you'll find it. That's probably a much easier way to find the webpage. So the presentation will be available on that site.
This is Amelia again. You will have to include the Bellmead area that's in Southside, because of just the difference between Bellmead and the 8th and other 8th district. District is just about a block across the street from other, from one district to the other.
Right. So the money will not only go to the 8th district. We are totally happy to have other districts answer the survey and also express what their funding priorities are.
Yeah, and I would also like to stress a couple of points. One, the $25.5 million has already been deposited and is sitting in a bank account and in an escrow account. And if Richmonders vote yes, within 30 days of the certification of their vote, those funds will be transferred to the city. We're taking this input, as Maritza mentioned, and we're going to provide a report to City Council. At the end of the day, City Council will be the body that's making the decisions on how the funds are spent. And we recognize that while the project will benefit the entire city, and in particular the South Side, and recognizing that you have the Bellmead community, the Manchester community, Swansboro, other parts of the city as well. There are other opportunities for us to solicit input, as Maritza mentioned, the survey from the ARPA, use of funds for the use of those federal funds that we can also help use to prioritize projects and spending spending for this, or just casino funds out of the 25.5 million. And as you notice with the first question on the survey, with that sliding scale, the percentage, it was simply asking Richmonders, what percentage of that money do you think should be spent on projects in the 8th and the 9th? Again, it's not a foregone conclusion that any set percentage of the funds will be spent explicitly in the 8th and 9th, or 8th or 9th rather. Again, just to further help to drive home the point that the dollars can be spent all over the city. With this exercise, we're just purely looking at the 8th and 9th district as being closest to the resort casino site, and ultimately City Council will be appropriating how the dollars are spent, and we'll be providing them with the information, with the feedback from this process and what people are sharing in the survey to help better inform their decisions.
Another question that came in is, are you planning additional engagement beyond the survey, like listening sessions? And if so, who do we reach out to for that? So yes, we have a Hickory Hill Community Center at 6 p.m. on August 25th. So a week from today, we will be there in person, masked, for giving this very similar presentation with even newer survey information. So we invite everyone to come to that. Also, we are going to be doing some canvassing in the area immediately near the casino, asking folks to fill out the survey. And then if you have a group of people that you would like us to come chat with, virtually or in person, you can email me, and my email was published in the announcements, but it is maritza.peachin@rva.gov. That's maritza.pechin@rva.gov, or richmondgov.com. We're transitioning to new endings of our emails. Any other questions or feedback?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello? I would like to, how would I get, because I would like to pass out the hard copy on the surveys to a lot of my neighbors and members of my civic association, just in case they do not, have access to the computer. So how do I get like maybe 20 hard copies to be passed out? And I would collect them from the people that's completing them.
You would contact me.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I think I have your number on this email. Do I need to contact you by email, or can I call you?
Either one.
Okay. So what is your phone number?
646-6348.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Bless you.
Thank you. Well, I don't hear any other comments or questions. So, Leonard, do you have any final remarks or?
No, we just thank everyone for coming out tonight. This is a tremendous opportunity for the city of Richmond, for South Richmond, project of this magnitude. Again, a lot of great paying jobs. The opportunity for Richmonders to be able to be employed in those jobs, an entertainment destination, lots of great community benefits. Lots of great new revenue for the city to help us address our priorities all over the city. We believe that we have absolutely put the best project forward for Richmond voters to vote yes or no on, and And we certainly hope that Richmond sees value in the project so that we can keep moving it forward with the yes vote.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.